3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So when you're trying to lose fat, not just weight, but when you're trying to lose fat, you have to remember that there are 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So in 1 pound of fat that weighs a pound, basically, like a bag of sugar, okay, it contains 3,500 calories. And if you want to burn a pound of fat off, if you want to lose 1 pound of weight, you have to get your body to basically eat itself and eat its way through 3,500 calories, all right? And in one sitting, it's not possible. However, if you split it out over a couple of weeks, 3,500 calories then becomes nothing, all right? So it brings us back to this notion of having to be in a calorie deficit when you want to lose fat. I'm going to use fat as the word, not weight, because when people talk about losing weight, it's actually what they mean. They want to lose the fat, not the weight, all right? So going back to the 3,500 calories, if you were to lose, or if you were to burn through 3,500 calories in 1 week, that's what, 500 calories a day that you would have to be in deficit for, right? Because 7 times 5 is 3,500, or 7 times 500 is 3,500 calories. But it's not easy. Burning 3,500 calories over a week extra, i.e. getting your body to eat an extra 500 calories of your own body mass, i.e. the fat, on a given day is not easy, because if you want to be in that calorie deficit, you can control it by mainly one of 2 ways. One, the amount of activity you have during a given day and the number of calories that you're consuming on a given day. So if you look at your activity levels on any given day, all of these Fitbits and activity trackers, they're generally quite poor, they're quite inaccurate in terms of telling you an accurate number as to how many calories you've actually burnt during a day. So you're trying to create this calorie deficit and you think you've burnt 2,500 calories in a day, and you think that you've eaten 2,000 calories in that day. Okay, so in your head you think, yes, I've got that 500 calorie deficit, whereas these fitness trackers are generally overestimating how much you've actually burnt during a workout or during a training session and stuff, okay? Because it's hard to burn calories when you're exercising, and it also depends on your current composition in terms of how much muscle to body that you have at the moment. So if you are quite high in composition in terms of the ratio of muscle to the rest of your body, then you're going to generally be quite calorie expensive in terms of you're going to be able to burn calories a lot quicker than, say, someone that has less muscle right now, because muscle is very calorie expensive. It's very calorie hungry. It requires a lot of calories to continue to exist, basically, for your body to sustain it. All right, that is why when you're looking to build muscle, you actually need to be in a calorie surplus, because you're basically adding to the body. The muscles get built by having extra calories in the body to then be used in the muscle building process, okay? But in the case of us wanting to lose fat, what we need to be is in that calorie deficit, all right? So on one hand, you've got trackers that are telling you that you're burning a lot more than you think you are. And then on the other hand, we have the classic case of where people think that they're tracking everything and they're being good, and they're eating way under their numbers. Whereas if you are really honest with yourself, or if you look back and you're not losing fat and you think that you have these two main contributors to fat loss on point, then something's amiss. Either your activity levels aren't as high as you think, or the amount of food and drink you're having is higher than you think, right? Something is amiss. One of those numbers isn't right. So then it's about going back to the drawing, not going back to the drawing board and starting again totally, but just really honing in on where you can improve. Is it that you need to be more active during the day, outside of your traditional exercise class? Or is it that you need to start counting those little morsels of, I don't know, the food that you finish off your kid's plate, or the biscuit that you have with every single cup of tea, or the tablespoons of oil that you use on your salad, or whatever, right? Somewhere there are calories sneaking in, whether that's from what you're eating and drinking, or whether that's from what you're not actually burning through your daily activity. Okay, so 3,500 calories is a big number, and when you're doing it accurately and tracking everything, then that fat will come off. But if you're not tracking accurately, then it's about tweaking things for your own personal numbers until it does start doing the things that you want it to, because you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat. And 3,500 calories, which is 1 pound of fat, takes a lot longer to burn than you think, especially if you're not being accurate with what is either going in or what you're burning off.